New videos and photo leaks have just come out of J.Lo that may have just destroyed her career, as it implicates her with some of Diddy's crimes. Is she guilty though? Here's what we know so far. A series of unseen pictures from the night of the 2000 VMA ceremony show Diddy and then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez in a heated exchange. Now, the pair dated from 1999 to 2001, and the pictures were released by DailyMail.com. They show Diddy and J.Lo in a fight at an after-party for the 2000 MTV VMAs at the defunct Lotus nightclub in New York City. Now, the photos were taken on September 7th, a day that Diddy has been accused of committing a horrible crime. But what really happened? Diddy held a Cristal champagne bottle the entire time serving his guests, a source has now spoken out, contextualizing the pictures. J.Lo is seen furiously shouting at her then-partner in the newly released images. She's believed to have walked out on him eventually. Everyone was dancing and enjoying themselves, but as the night progressed, tensions rose between him and J.Lo. The source, who was seemingly present at the scene and witnessed the former couple butting heads, confessed. Now, the party guests also complained that in the aftermath of this spat with his then-girlfriend, Diddy left the place early on, accompanied by a group of girls and his entourage. Now, earlier that night, in an all-white outfit, J.Lo was pictured alongside Diddy at the VMAs at Radio City Music Hall. It was an especially special night for her, as she had won the Best Dance Video, and in her acceptance speech, she even thanked Diddy. But it seems like Diddy may have messed all of this up, and maybe the fight was about that. You see, a lawsuit had been filed in October against Diddy for mistreating and taking advantage of a woman. The anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, said the incident happened after she was driven to an MTV VMA after-party in the year 2000. Now, it seems like this could have happened after Diddy left the nightclub. The lawsuit says that a friend dropped Jane off at the VMAs at the Radio City Music Hall. She did not have a ticket, and she approached various limousine drivers to try to gain access to the show or simply to an after-party. Now, one driver, the lawsuit says, told her that he worked for Diddy and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. He invited her to a party after the show and told her to return to his car later in the evening after he transported Diddy and Jay-Z. Now, later in the night, the driver picked her up, and after 20 minutes, they arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway, the suit says. Now, Jane Doe then had to sign a document she believed was a non-disclosure agreement on arrival to enter the party, which the suit says was filled with celebrities. While there, she says she was offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down, so she went into a room to rest. Shortly afterwards, the suit says that Diddy and Jay-Z entered the room with Diddy saying, "You are ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men, while an unnamed female celebrity watched. Now, after the alleged incident, the suit says Jane Doe grabbed her clothes and left. Now, what we knew at the time was at the after-party, the victim was mistreated by Diddy, while another male celebrity and female celebrity, neither of whom were named in the lawsuit at the time, watched until she was able to escape. Now, this case was refiled on Sunday, December 8th, and it included Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter, in it. Now, it turns out that he was the male celebrity described in the suit. But who was the female celebrity? Some people think it could be J.Lo. I mean, she did attend pretty much all of Diddy's parties, and there's no way she didn't know about all the sketchy stuff going on. Now, one of J.Lo's ex-husbands, Ojani Noah, recently took to social media to distance himself from any connection to Diddy's freak-off parties, but he claimed that J.Lo was one of multiple celebrities present at them. While we do know that J.Lo has been to Diddy parties, as there's actual photographic evidence, there has been nothing official put out about her involvement in freak-offs. In a post on Instagram, Noah shared a list of stars who allegedly attended Diddy's parties, one being J.Lo. "I'm not on the list," he captioned the post. To those people and media outlets asking if I ever went or participated in that piece of Diddy's freak-off parties, no and no, never. But my ex-wife, Jennifer Lopez, aka J.Lo, did ask her. But now it seems like J.Lo is refusing to speak about her ex Diddy. She walked out of an autographing signing at AFI Fest 2024 when someone in the crowd asked her if she had any comments about Diddy and the allegations. According to the US Mirror. Now, the tabloid reported that the singer left immediately despite fans' pleas that she stay, and don't expect her to say anything. In May, after video footage of Diddy hurting his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura was brought to light, J-Lo stayed silent. Many of Diddy's other exes have spoken out against him, but not J-Lo. Though tabloid sources claim that the Cassie footage disgusted her, J-Lo was silent on the subject and has stayed that way. Sources have been saying that Jen is not going to address the accusations or take time to talk about them because it's not her story to tell. If an interviewer brought it up, she would cross that path when it happens, but she won't address it publicly and will not put herself in that conversation on purpose. But J-Lo has spoken out in the past before about her relationship with Diddy, and some people believe that she might be a victim of his. Throughout their relationship and then after their breakup, J-Lo was aware of rumors that Diddy was cheating on her. Now, Diddy has admitted to cheating on multiple girlfriends in the past, so she was most likely right. It was the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful, she told Vibe magazine after the breakup. I was in a relationship with Puff where I was totally crying, crazy, and going nuts. It really took my whole life in a tailspin. Now, she then grew increasingly concerned about his fidelity. I never caught him, but I just knew, she said of the cheating. He'd say he was going to the club for a couple of hours and never come back that night. Now, Diddy himself admitted that he was often unfaithful in relationships. But with Diddy's recent arrest, people have been questioning how he treated J-Lo. An anonymous source said he was very controlling, he would constantly put her in uncomfortable situations. This is a good girl from the Bronx who never got into trouble or was wild. Now, the source also said he never hurt J-Lo, but she had her longtime manager, Benny Medina, to protect her. Benny would have ended Puffy's life if he laid a hand on J-Lo. But still, Puffy was controlling and demanding. But there's been a conflicting report though, as another source who knew the couple at the time said he definitely manhandled her, but it's a little low to bring that up all now. It's kicking a man when he's down. Then there's also the fact that J-Lo's mom didn't like Diddy. When J-Lo was asked about Diddy in 2022 when she was on the Wendy Williams show, Wendy asked if she and Diddy would ever get back together. Now, J-Lo laughed and shook her head as the cameras panned to her mom sitting in the audience. Now, J-Lo's mother looked furious as she shouted no while waving her hand back and forth. Now, that reaction spoke volumes, and it seemed like she knew something the rest of us didn't. Now, it's important to note that J-Lo has not been connected legally to any of Diddy's crimes. The only celebrity who's been named with him is Jay-Z, who is obviously denying all the claims. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens in this case.
Beyonce's rise to fame began at a young age. We all remember her hit R&B group Destiny's Child that her father and ex-manager Matthew Knowles created back in the 90s that skyrocketed Beyonce into stardom. So who would have thought that with her wide range of exceptional vocal talents that she would ever be caught lip syncing, right? I certainly didn't, and I know millions of others didn't. So that's exactly what happened though, and not only did it happen, but it happened at President Barack Obama's second inauguration in 2013. Beyonce was invited to perform the national anthem, being the Star-Spangled Banner, which would be watched by millions of people around the world, no biggie. Now, many assumed at first, of course, that she was in fact singing live. However, it was later revealed that Beyonce had lip-synced the entire performance, actually singing along to the pre-recorded track of the anthem. Now, the news sparked a heated debate, with some critics accusing Beyonce of being dishonest and lacking integrity, while others defended her, saying that the cold weather and technical issues made it necessary to use a pre-recorded track. Now, according to the Marine Corps band, the decision to use a pre-recorded track was actually made like minutes before the performance. Beyonce also said that she had sung along to the track to ensure that the performance was flawless. Now, when she admitted that she had lip-synced, the singer said she's a perfectionist and wanted her performance for Barack Obama to be a memorable one. Now, she called the day emotional, and she went on to say, "I practiced until my feet bleed, and I did not have time to rehearse with the orchestra. Due to no proper sound check, I did not feel comfortable taking a risk. It was about the president and the inauguration, and I wanted to make him and my country proud. So I decided to sing along with my pre-recorded track, which is very common in the music industry, and I'm very proud of my performance. So, to be fair, and to her defense, the Star Spangled Banner is notoriously difficult piece to sing. It spans such a huge vocal range, and it was also bitterly cold that day in Washington, so the combination of nerves and the cold may have influenced Beyonce's decision to rely on the pre-recorded track. We will forgive you, B, but we won't forget it. Moving on now, Beyonce has been called out many times for sampling songs throughout her career without actually getting permission first. One of the most notable cases is the song Ring the Alarm from her 2006 album B-Day. The song's chorus bears a striking resemblance to the 1995 song Get Me Bodied by Rare Essence, and also samples elements from the 97 song La Di Da Di by Doug E. Fresh and Slick Rick. In 2010, Beyonce was actually sued by songwriter Jennifer Armour, who claimed that Beyonce's song Baby Boy featuring Sean Paul infringed on her own song Love Theme, which was written in 97. Now, another notable one was Beyonce's song Run the World. She was accused of sampling the song Pon de Floor by Major Lazer without properly clearing the sample. But nothing almost ruined her career more than when she sampled the Challenger explosion in her song XO. Begins with audio of NASA's former public affairs officer Steve Nesbitt referring to a major malfunction involving the Challenger space shuttle, which actually exploded just a minute after its launch. NASA said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter at the time, "The Challenger accident is an important part of our history, a tragic reminder that space exploration is risky and should never be trivialized." Now, in a statement to ABC News in December of 2013, Beyonce explained that she intended for the audio to be a tribute to those who passed away aboard the Challenger. She said at the time, "My heart goes out to the families of those lost in the Challenger disaster. The song XO was recorded with the sincerest intention to help heal those who have lost loved ones and to remind us that unexpected things happen, so love and appreciate every minute that you have with those who mean the most to you." The songwriters included in the audio in tribute to the unselfish work of the Challenger crew with hope that they will never be forgotten. Many critics didn't accept her apology or statement, and many just believed she was being tone deaf and inconsiderate, with one person online saying, "This is not how you honor the crew members. Nobody asked for this," with another person saying, "This is so random and came out of nowhere. She hasn't once spoken about the Challenger incident. She's definitely lying about her intentions." NASA astronauts, employees, and the families of the Challenger astronauts were extremely upset that she used this audio and didn't think it was a well thought out idea. June Scobie Rogers, the widow of Challenger Space Shuttle Commander Dick Scobie, told ABC News at the time, "We were disappointed to learn that an audio clip from the day we lost a heroic Challenger crew was used in the song XO. The moment included in this song is an emotionally difficult one for the Challenger families, colleagues, and friends. We have always chosen to focus not on how our loved ones were lost, but rather on how they lived and how their legacy lives on today." A former NASA employee, Keith Cowing, said, "This choice of historic and solemn audio is inappropriate in the extreme. The choice is little different than taking Walter Cronkite's words to viewers announcing the passing of President Kennedy or 911 calls from attacks and using them for shock value in a pop tune." Beyonce has never spoken out about this since, and because it caused such a media frenzy, people were not only upset about it, of course, but also ready to cancel her completely. It gave a vibe that she was using tragedy to sell records. Next up, we have Bumpgate. When Beyonce was pregnant with daughter Blue Ivy Carter, who will someday likely take over the world, rumors began spreading that 1, she faked her pregnancy with a prosthetic belly, and 2, had enlisted a surrogate to carry the child. A video that went absolutely viral overnight caused such chaos. The rumor mill went into overdrive when a video of Beyonce's high-definition interview with Australian's Sunday Night HD surfaced online, and honestly, it would have been a rather forgettable chat were it not for one moment at the start of the sit-down when a very pregnant Beyonce took a seat and her bump, well, took a break. When she sits down, you can actually see her stomach deflating, crumpling, and folding in on itself, however you want to describe it. Stills and slow-mos of the seemingly disappearing bumps circulated by the dozens, and conspiracy theories around as to the curious behavior of her baby bump. Was Beyonce wearing different size bellies to throw off the press as to how far along she was? Had she and Jay-Z gone the surrogate route and her seemingly deflating baby bump proved it, or was it something else else entirely. Beyonce's publicist Yvette Noel Schur was quick to shut down the conspiracy theories of the masses, telling E! News that sites and rumors suggesting that Jay-Z's better half is wearing a prosthetic or otherwise faking her baby bump are foolish. Beyonce addressed it only once, saying, "That was crazy. It wasn't hurtful. It was just crazy. Where did they come up with this?" Now, Wendy Williams discussed the incident on her talk show and actually had two of her staff members who were pregnant at the time, with one of them being due like the same month as Beyonce, sit down in very similar dresses to see if their belly, or I guess fabric, folded in the same way. Both did not, and so that also drew a lot of attention and caused many other people to believe the fake pregnancy rumor. Now, one fan online pointed out that Beyonce has been so secretive about her pregnancy, and that the only footage of her being pregnant was grainy and not clear, and some fans did come to her defense, saying that there was actually a pic of her on the beach in a bikini, but Wendy Williams very clearly pointed out that that photo of her standing in her bikini anyone could replicate if you just stand and push your stomach out enough. Now, some conspiracy theories Wendy talks about is that 1, the baby was to help her depleting music career at the time. Theory number 2, that the baby was to keep Jay-Z's alleged mistress away. Theory number 3, the alleged woman in Trinidad with Jay-Z's son was intimidating to Beyonce, and Beyonce was basically trying to keep up with her. Theory 4, she was gonna use a surrogate to maintain her body and not put it under stress. And theory 5, they're adopting, but wanted to play it off like she gave birth. Now, Wendy even predicted it would be an at-home water birth. However, we now know that that didn't happen, as Blue Ivy was born at Lenox Hill Hospital in Manhattan, New York on January 7th, 2012.
In 2018, Fergie was already on her way out the mainstream limelight. The Black Eyed Peas were on hiatus, and Fergie has not had much success as a solo act. She was not doing well at all in regards to her career, but she was chosen to sing the national anthem at the 2018 NBA All-Star Game. People were excited for her performance and to see what she would bring to it, because hey, maybe it could revive her career. Her performance though was so bad. Her singing was shaky and weirdly sensual. She was turned into a laughingstock. Due to this, people in attendance could barely contain their laughter, and the clips became insanely viral. She ended up actually apologizing, saying, "I've always been honored and proud to perform the national anthem, and last night I wanted to try something special for the NBA. I'm a risk taker artistically, but clearly this rendition didn't strike the intended tone. I love this country and honestly tried my best." This seemed to be the final nail in the coffin of her singing career, and she hasn't really been seen since. It was overall just incredibly embarrassing for her and everyone involved. In 2020, Vanessa Hudgens did an Instagram live talking about the new but the way she talked about it was all wrong. A clip from the live went viral with her saying, "I'm sorry, but like, it's a virus. I get it, like, I respect it, but at the same time, like, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna pass away, which is terrible, but like, inevitable? I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now." A lot of likes there, Vanessa, she said online, finishing with a small laugh. She was called horrible and heartless at the time, as she received mass backlash. Not long after, when the backlash begun, Hudgens issued an apology in a video and a written statement. "I realize my words were insensitive, yeah, no kidding, and not at all appropriate for the situation of our country and the world are in right now. This has been a huge wake-up call about the significance my words have, now more than ever," she wrote. The person who shared the clip online, Chris Burke, tweeted it on March 17th, 2020, and said, "Vanessa Hudgens' career will be dead after posting this." Yeah, it was incredibly insensitive and not a good look at all. Jamie Kennedy, best known for his role in the Scream movies, hosted a New Year's countdown show on December 31st, 2012, on KDOC, an independent TV station in Los Angeles. This whole show was a complete fail and made everyone involved look like a fool and was so poorly done and a train wreck. It went viral and made history. Many scenes found Jamie looking lost on stage, not knowing when the show was live or when the camera was on him. I mean, hey, well, cut him some slack, as the point of the show was to just be together and celebrate the countdown to midnight. But they couldn't even get that right. Their countdown was 10 seconds behind. Then, at the end of the show, a huge brawl happened on stage, and well, the rest is literally history. Unbelievably, Kennedy told the New York Times that the show was terrible on purpose. "It was totally supposed to be like that," Kennedy claimed. "We wanted it to make it almost an anti-New Year's Eve show." but I think that was just a cover-up for the huge nightmare that show was. Martin Lawrence is a comedian and actor who is often known for his somewhat erratic behavior. In 1994, Martin was chosen to host NSL. When they went live that night, he started his opening monologue, and after days of rehearsals, he decided to completely go off script. He made controversial comments which were criticized by many, opening up with a serious discussion about the story of Lorena Bobbitt cutting off her husband's nether regions, which included several jokes that already pushed the boundaries of SNL's strict rules. Due to this, the footage has been completely removed from existence. His comments resulted in over 200 complaints and, according to some reports, caused protests from several SNL sponsors and resulted in Martin being completely banned from the show. The 2022 Oscars were a night to remember for many reasons, but the main reason was Will slapped Chris Rock on live television. The incident happened due to Chris being on stage presenting an award. He made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith and her hair, which Will did not like because Jada has been open about struggling with alopecia. After the joke, Will got out of his seat and got on stage and slapped Chris Rock. He went back to his seat and continued to yell, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth." Viewers and audience members were confused as to whether this was a sketch or real. As the night went on, it was clear that it was real. Since then, both parties have apologized for the altercation, though Will was banned from the Oscars for 10 years. Partly stating violence in all its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, and all the attendees and everyone watching around the world. Now, it was all anyone could ever talk about, and it slowed down his career. Charlie Sheen, who starred on The 2.5 Men, was one of the highest paid actors on television. That was until he went off the deep end. In 2011, Charlie didn't help his career by giving a string of bizarre interviews defending his past. He called his critics some words I can't say here on Facebook and vowed to sue CBS and Warner Brothers for canceling his hit TV sitcom. He told NBC's Today that his former employees would have to beg him to return and increase his pay from $2 million to $3 million per episode because of the psychological distress they cause. "I'm tired of pretending like I'm not special," he told NBC's Jeff Rawson. "I'm tired of pretending like I'm not a total frickin' rock star from Mars and people can't figure me out. They can't process me. I don't expect them to. You can't process me with a normal brain." Then, in an interview with Andrea Canning of ABC News, Charlie claimed to be clean and sober while also proclaiming that he had tiger blood. He announced that he was not bipolar and he was bi-winning. Yikes. Natalia Kills and Willie Moon were judges on X Factor NZ. After a live performance by Joe Irvin, the pair gave harsh critiques of the singer. Natalia accused Joe of copying her husband with his looks by wearing a suit and tie and slick back hair. She said, "I'm disgusted at how much you have copied my husband. From the hair to the suit, do you not have any value or respect for originality? You're a laughingstock. It's cheesy, it's disgusting. I personally found it absolutely artistically atrocious and I'm ashamed to be here." These comments were followed by her husband Willie stating that Joe was like Norman Bates, dressed up in his mother's clothing, and that he felt like Joe was going to stitch someone's skin to his face and then hurt everybody in the audience. The live audience and audience at home were not having this. Celebrities alike rallied behind Joe, and 70,000 signature petition to have the pair fired from the show appeared online. In response, the husband and wife were fired mid-season. As they should.
Jennifer Lopez faced backlash in 2024 for a scene in her documentary, This Is Me, Now, A Love Story. In the clip, she romanticizes her childhood in the Bronx, ruffling her hair and saying, "It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block." Many Bronx residents criticized this portrayal, arguing that it was inaccurate and overly romanticized. They pointed out that the Bronx of today is vastly different from the one Lopez grew up in, and that her portrayal ignored the challenges and struggles faced by many Bronx residents. The controversy sparked a debate about authenticity and representation, with some questioning whether Lopez's portrayal of her Bronx roots was genuine. It highlighted the importance of accurately representing diverse communities and avoiding stereotypes. Blake Lively. It ends with Us movie controversy. This movie faced significant controversy, primarily due to its marketing and promotion. Tone-deaf marketing. The film's marketing heavily focused on the romantic aspects of the story, downplaying the serious themes of domestic abuse and trauma. This led to criticism that the marketing was insensitive and disrespectful to survivors of domestic violence. Age gap between actors and characters. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, who play the lead roles, are significantly older than the characters they portray in the book. This casting choice raised concerns about the film's authenticity and its ability to accurately represent the experiences of younger individuals. Dave Grohl. In a shocking turn of events, Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl admitted to infidelity and fathering a child outside of his marriage to Jordan Bloom. In a heartfelt Instagram post in September 2024, Grohl expressed his remorse and vowed to work towards regaining his family's trust. This revelation has sent shockwaves through the music industry and has forced fans to reevaluate their perception of the beloved rock star. While Beyonce has generally maintained a positive public image, 2024 was not without its share of controversies. One of the most significant was the controversy surrounding her Renaissance World Tour. Some fans expressed disappointment over the high ticket prices and limited availability, leading to accusations of price gouging and unfair ticket distribution. Additionally, some fans criticized the strict rules and regulations imposed at the concerts, such as bans on recording and photography. Despite these controversies, Beyoncé's Renaissance World Tour was a massive success, breaking numerous records and solidifying her status as one of the biggest music icons of all time. Katy Perry's much-anticipated return to the music scene with her single Woman's World was quickly overshadowed by controversy. Her collaboration with producer Lukasz Gottwald drew significant criticism. This partnership seemed at odds with Perry's intended message of female empowerment, leading many to question her choices. Further controversy arose when Perry filmed her music video in ecologically sensitive areas of the Balearic Islands. This decision angered Spanish authorities, who initiated an investigation into potential environmental damage. The negative publicity surrounding this incident, coupled with the ongoing criticism of her collaboration with Gottwald, led to a wave of backlash on social media. Many fans and critics alike called for Perry to reconsider her future in the music industry. Kourtney Kardashian, while generally avoiding the intense drama that has characterized her family's public image, has faced her own share of controversies in 2024. One significant issue was the backlash she received for promoting a weight loss product. Critics argued that the product's claims were misleading and that it could promote unhealthy body image standards. Additionally, her highly publicized relationship with Travis Barker has often been the subject of public scrutiny. Some fans have accused the couple of oversharing personal details of their relationship on social media. Despite these controversies, Kourtney Kardashian remains a popular figure, and her family's reality show continues to be a ratings success. Nick Cannon. He has been involved in several controversies throughout his career, particularly in 2024. Paternity scandal. Cannon's rapid increase in children has led to significant public scrutiny and criticism. His multiple pregnancies with different women in a short period have raised questions about his parenting abilities and his approach to relationships. Controversial comments. Cannon has made controversial comments on various topics, including race, religion, and mental health, which have often sparked backlash and criticism. Kanye West. He has had a tumultuous year in 2024. Not many people can say they lost $1 billion overnight. His already controversial reputation was further tarnished by a series of anti-Semitic remarks and body-shaming comments directed at Lizzo. As if that wasn't enough, West became embroiled in the P. Diddy scandal when a former personal assistant, Lauren Pisciotta, filed an 88-page lawsuit accusing West during a studio session co-hosted by Diddy. With his career already on the brink, this latest scandal raises serious questions about West's future in the entertainment industry. Britney Spears. In 2024, Spears continued to navigate the complexities of life after conservatorship, including addressing the emotional and psychological trauma she endured. She has been vocal about her experiences, using social media to share her thoughts and feelings. While this has allowed her to connect with fans and express herself freely, it has also led to some controversies, such as public feuds with her family members and ex-husband Kevin Federline. Despite these challenges, Spears has remained a resilient figure and has continued to work on her music and other creative projects. Her fans continue to support her and advocate for her well-being. Miley Cyrus. She has faced several controversies throughout her career, though none major in 2024. However, her public image and music have often been the subject of debate and criticism. Some of the controversies she has faced include public image evolution. Her transition from a Disney child star to a provocative pop artist often drew criticism. And controversy. Controversial performances. Some of her performances, especially during the Bangers era, were deemed too explicit or provocative for mainstream audiences. Conor McGregor. He has had a career filled with controversies, major scandals specific to 2024. However, some ongoing issues and past controversies continue to surround him. Legal troubles. McGregor has faced several legal issues, including assault charges and road traffic offenses, which have tarnished his image. Public outbursts. His erratic behavior and public outbursts, often fueled by alcohol and social media, have led to criticism and concern. Controversial social media posts. McGregor's social media posts have often been controversial, with some fans and critics accusing him of arrogance, disrespect, and toxic masculinity, fighting style, and sportsmanship. His aggressive fighting style and sometimes questionable sportsmanship have drawn criticism from fans and pundits alike. JoJo Siwa. While known for her positive and family-friendly image, hasn't been involved in any major scandals. However, like any public figure, she has faced some major controversies and criticisms. Public feuds. Similar to many other celebrities, Siwa has been involved in public feuds with other influencers and celebrities, which can sometimes generate negative publicity. Product controversies. Some of her products, particularly those aimed at younger audiences, have faced criticism for their quality or perceived marketing tactics.
While Jay-Z is being exposed for all these terrible things, it's affecting Beyonce a lot, and it's not a good look for her. Now, we all know that Jay-Z has been friends with Diddy for years. They became friends in the 90s and they collaborated on multiple projects together. They became two of the biggest names in the music industry as they each had their own labels. Diddy founded Bad Boy Entertainment, launched in 1993, and Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records, founded a year later. Now, surprisingly though, there was no rivalry among the two rappers, who remained supportive of each other's work. Now, from there, their bond just grew. After a photo of Diddy and Jay-Z chatting it up during his birthday party was showcased at the Rock and Roll of Hip Hop exhibition, Diddy opened up about his friendship with the fellow rapper and said, "That was one of my birthday parties, and I was just telling him I appreciate him coming." He further added he was on tour and he flew in private after one of his shows just to come to the party, then he had to fly back out. "I was just telling him how much I appreciate it and how much I value our friendship. People see us as competitors and different icons in the hip-hop game, but that was just a moment of two black brothers telling each other how much they appreciate each other." Their bond was strong, and Jay-Z even got Beyonce involved in the friendship. Now, the power couple would be seen at a bunch of Diddy's parties, where they would even debut some of their new music there. I mean, in the past couple of years, they were still praising each other in the public, as Diddy was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2022 BET Awards. Jay-Z paid a special tribute to him with a video. Now, with their friendship on full display, it shocked people that Jay-Z nor Beyonce spoke up when Diddy's houses were raided in March or when he was arrested in September. Now, some people called this out, like 50 Cent. He posted a picture of the rapper's face on a milk carton with the words "missing" on Instagram and added in the caption, "Anybody seen Jay? LOL," joking he ain't been answering his phone. Now, many people were waiting for Jay-Z to speak up, and because he didn't, people started to suspect that he had something to do with the crimes Diddy committed. I mean, they partied and were together a lot. This would certainly be plausible. Now, we finally got the answer on December 8th, as Jay-Z was named in a refiled lawsuit against Diddy. Now, the general public knew about this lawsuit in October, but new details emerged that placed Jay-Z as a perpetrator of the crime committed alongside Diddy. The anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, said the incident happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards afterparty in the year 2000. After the awards, she was driven to a White House where she had to sign an NDA. There, she said she was offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and it felt like she needed to lie down, so she went into a room to rest. Shortly afterwards, the suit says Diddy and Jay-Z entered the room, with Diddy saying, "You're ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men, while an unnamed female celebrity watched. Now, could that female celebrity be Beyonce? Just maybe. Now, after the alleged incident, the suit says Jane Doe grabbed her clothes and left. She made her way to a gas station where she called her father. Now, this sounds extremely real, as a former party planner for Diddy, who worked for him during 2004 and 2005 and wished to remain anonymous, spoke to some news outlets about the disgraced musicians' parties. They stated that women attending these parties were subjected to weight checks. We would do a weigh-in if necessary. The girls had to be young and hot, so I always had a scale nearby in case I needed to make sure. The number was 140 pounds, but if a girl was really tall, there was a little bit of discretion involved, said the planner, adding that the other requirements included no flab, no cellulite, not overly pierced or tattooed, and no short hair. Now, seems like this Jane Doe fit the description of exactly what Diddy wanted. It was also revealed that Diddy would make people sign NDAs to attend his parties. A document released showed that guests were issued strict rules on discussing Diddy, his associates, and any activities or individuals present at his events. The NDA reportedly forbade guests from sharing any information about Diddy, his family members, current or former partners, or friends. Now, under the agreement, attendees were restricted from taking photos, filming, or recording anything at these events without his written consent. Now, something that makes these NDAs quite unique is that it's enforceable for either 70 years or the artist's lifetime plus an additional 20 years, whichever is longer. Now, this is a duration that is far exceeding standard NDAs. Now, Jay-Z was actually spotted the day after the lawsuit was filed. Jay attended the premiere of a movie with Beyonce where their daughter Blue Ivy voiced one of the characters. It was the first time Jay-Z had been spotted in public since the accusations, and sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that Jay-Z and Beyonce were not planning on going to the premiere. However, they appear to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. Beyonce forced Jay-Z to go to the premiere last night, an insider told DailyMail.com. They're working with a crisis specialist who's advising them on how to handle this. Beyonce believes that the best way is to face it head on. Blue Ivy is well aware of what's going on and is intent on supporting her father in any way she can. She was there in solidarity with her dad and mom. Beyonce will do anything she can to keep their family together, but is also concerned that more women might come forward with lies. So it seems like Beyonce is standing with her husband, but this just makes her look really bad and even guilty. Like mentioned before, she had attended plenty of Diddy parties herself. Now, Beyonce and Jay-Z once attended one of Diddy's New Year's Eve parties, and the couple spent time with Diddy ringing in the new year of 2014 in Miami. Now, the weird thing is there are articles about them being there, but all the photos of the night have disappeared. Strange, right? Well, in one article, it said that Jay-Z and Beyonce were off in a corner dancing and greeting people, an insider said. Drake came with a posse of friends and took over the turntables, and T.I. and Jamie Foxx were chatting and hanging out during the event. Pharrell Williams was also in attendance, the source adds. Now, it was reported that Beyonce wasn't wearing any pants, and that some people say she was later seen in the swimming pool, looking dazed and confused. It's just strange all around, and the couple also attended the music mogul's 50th birthday party in 2019. But we've been told by insiders that these parties are not what they seem, and that a lot of messed up things happen at them. Former music industry insider Tom Swoop had attended a couple of the parties, and he shared with the public what would happen behind the scenes. He broke down how the parties worked for viewers and claimed that the parties were separated into tiers of access. There was general admission, then a series of tiers ending with entrance to the inner circle, where the real partying went on. Now, this allegedly included humiliating male and female guests on the promise of record deals or money. Yeah, now why does this kind of sound like a cult or some sort of ritual? Ugh, I do not like it. Now, Tom went on to say that there were a lot of substances present and that Diddy played a horrible so-called joke on a young artist. He said Diddy wanted the artist to do a certain act, and if he did it, Diddy would give him $100,000 and a record deal before claiming it was a joke when the young artist was about to do it. Tom claimed Diddy told him, "I can make anybody do anything because this life is what they want, and I got the keys to the castle." Now Tom didn't like any of this though, so he left the party thinking, if this what goes on behind the curtain and you're all comfortable with this, nah, I don't want this life. He added there were so many celebrities there who were cool with who he was and what he did to entertain them. It's not isolated, he added. You all need to think of everybody when you think of him and the access and the amount of people who were there. So it seems like Jay-Z was cool with all this going on. But what about Beyonce? Is she just wrapped up in this, or did she actively participate in it?
Before we get into the best worst interview that Jennifer Lopez has ever sat for, we need to discuss her most famous public feud that left a bad taste in the land of lambs. If you don't know what I mean by that, well, try and keep up. We're about to dig into J-Lo's feud with the self-proclaimed Christmas queen, Mariah Carey. And yes, lambs are what Mariah Carey's fans call themselves. Now, this feud has been going on for like decades. The feud to the public's eye started when Mariah Carey claimed she didn't know who Jennifer Lopez was. When asked about Jennifer Lopez in a 2008 interview, Mariah Carey famously said, "I don't know her." However, this feud actually began between the two back in the late 1990s when Lopez signed a record deal with Sony Music Entertainment and started working with Carey's then husband, Tommy Mottola. Now, this was actually a pivotal moment in J-Lo's career, and at the time, Mottola was the chairman and CEO and played a significant role in shaping J-Lo's early success. And to give you a little bit more context, he was very instrumental in launching the careers of various artists, including Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, Destiny's Child, and Shakira. So yeah, he was like a big man on campus. Now, Tommy was known to be a very hands-on manager. He worked very closely with Lopez to develop her sound and image, and this of course had an impact on his personal relationship with Mariah, which in turn caused tension between Carey and Lopez. But that's not the only reason why there was beef. Like, it is reported that Mottola actually stole music from Mariah to give to Lopez and build her up. Now, when Mariah Carey released her book, The Meaning of Mariah, in 2020, it actually showcased her very toxic relationship with Mottola, and when referencing Lopez, she refers to her as the one who must not be named. It is reported in her book that a sample Mariah was set to use for her new song Loverboy, out of spite due to Mottola and Carey's breakup, Mottola rushed to have it be used by another artist on the label. And although not named directly, we are led to believe that artist is Jennifer Lopez. Now, Mariah Carey said this was sabotage, like plain and simple. Mariah did change the sample in order to make Loverboy, and she did have the last laugh because Loverboy went on to become the best-selling single of 2001. So like, I completely get Mariah being salty towards J-Lo for this whole situation, but you do have to wonder how much J-Lo had to say or even really knew what was going on. I mean, in my humble opinion, I think Mottola played them both and set both of them up for disaster. It seems like he intentionally created scenarios and a dynamic between the two that would, of course, cause them to hate each other. Now, in an interview with Andy Cohen, he asked J-Lo if she had any problems with Mariah Carey. J-Lo responded by saying, "I don't have a feud against her at all. I know from back in the day, I've read things that she said about me that were not the greatest, but we have never met. We don't know each other." She even went on to say, "I would love to meet her and I would love to be friends with her." I'm sorry, girl. I honestly don't think Mariah feels the same at all. Let's get into J-Lo's most high-profile breakup. You already know who I'm about to mention. Yes, Ben Affleck. What's crazy about this one is that she had two high-profile breakups with him. Once in 2004 and then 20 years later in 2024. Now, Lopez and Affleck, or better known collectively as Bennifer by the press, met while filming Geely. We'll get into that one in a bit. And they got engaged in 2002. Their wedding was postponed multiple times due to media attention, and once in 2003, just one day before the ceremony, they made a joint statement that said, "Due to the excessive media attention surrounding our wedding, we have decided to postpone the date." When we found ourselves seriously contemplating hiring 3 separate decoy brides at 3 different locations, we realized that something was awry. We began to feel that the spirit of what should have been the happiest day of our lives would be compromised. We felt that what should have been a joyful and sacred day would be spoiled for us, our families, and our friends. So after that statement, they briefly split up, but then they actually rekindled their relationship, but then eventually called it off just 3 days before the wedding in January of 2004. Jennifer also told People magazine, and I quote, "We didn't try to have a public relationship, we just happened to be together at the birth of the tabloids. It was just a lot of pressure." Ben shared the same sentiments, and although it's reported that it was the pressure pressure that was the main cause of their split, they also had conflicting schedules that made it really difficult to maintain a healthy work-life balance, and it is said that the couple had different views on what to share publicly, which led to like a lot of conflict and tension. Now, at the time, Lopez described the breakup as the biggest heartbreak of her life, and saying that it felt like her whole bleeping world exploded. It even made her question if she belonged in the entertainment business. She said it took her 2 years to get over Ben, meaning when she was married to Marc Anthony, she still had strong feelings for Ben. So that kind of sounds like a rebound to me, right? Now, the couple's relationship captivated audiences and reminded people that even glamorous relationships can and will face challenges. Jen and Ben literally went on to live 2 totally separate lives, but they did always remain on friendly terms and supportive of one another. Ben would go on to marry Jennifer Garner, with whom he has 3 children with, and J-Lo rebounded onto Marc Anthony, with whom she had twins Max and Em with. Ben continued his acting career, starring in films like Hollywoodland, The Town, Argo, and more, and Jennifer released several albums, including Rebirth in 2005, Brave in 2007, and Love in 2011. She even judged on American Idol from 2011 to 2016. Now, let's not forget her acting career though, because listen, I do really love me a good J-Lo rom-com, and she kept busy starring in movies like Maid in Manhattan, Shall We Dance, Monster-in-Law, and in the more recent years, Second Act, Hustlers, and Shotgun Wedding. It's safe to say they both evolved as individuals and continued to grow while they were apart. Now, fast forward to April 2021, Lopez and Affleck rekindled their romance and were spotted together after they both separated from their other partners. In May, they both went on a trip to Montana together, and in July 2022, the couple secretly married in Las Vegas at the Little White Chapel. Sadly, for all Bennifer fans, this was short-lived as their marriage came to an end in August of 2024, when Lopez filed for divorce without a lawyer, citing irreconcilable differences. Now, a bit of deja vu here, because although I'm sure there were several factors that contributed to the breakdown of the relationship, but according to sources close to Lopez, Ben's discomfort with the paparazzi attention was a significant issue. Boy, like, I'm gonna need you to get yourself all the way together. Like, she was J-Lo in 2004. She's still J-Lo in 2024 too. Like, what's insanity again, doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? Anyway, additionally, Affleck was apparently uncomfortable with Lopez's decision to share private love letters with her music team. I actually don't think many fans were shocked though, because the months leading up to the split, there were so many signs of trouble. The couple was rarely seen together, and when they were, Ben looked so miserable, like just down astronomically bad. And there's even one video that looks to be Ben slamming the car door in Jennifer's face while out running errands. Just not a good look. And to every person watching that video, it signaled the beginning of the end. Now, this second split from Ben, of course, was devastating to Bennifer fans worldwide and shocked many. Actually, no, it didn't really shock too many, to be honest, but it was sad, like, nonetheless. Okay, before I send you guys off with J-Lo's most infamous interview that almost ruined her career, I first want to talk about J-Lo's worst film. Not Jersey Girl, which was bad, not Atlas, also bad, and not U-Turn, which I bet you haven't even heard of that one, so you're welcome. No, let's talk about Geely. And to be fair, it's so bad, it's still not good. She actually should have won a Razzie for it, honestly. But to give you the quickest synopsis possible, Geely, played by Ben Affleck, is ordered to kidnap the psychologically challenged younger brother of a powerful federal prosecutor. Now, when plans go wrong, Geely's boss sends in Ricky, played by Jennifer Lopez, a gorgeous, like, free-spirited female gangster who has her own set of orders to assist with the kidnapping. But Geely begins falling for the decidedly unavailable Ricky, which could be a hazard to his occupation. Geely is widely regarded as one of the worst films of the 2000s. It has like a confusing storyline, underdeveloped characters, cringeworthy dialogue, and the acting is honestly horrible. And not just from Jen, but like from literally every person starring in the film. And there's a lot of big actors in the film. But it's not any interview for that film that almost blew up her career and status in Hollywood. No, it's actually a 1998 interview with Movie Line. In this interview, she criticized several actresses' acting skills, saying that most were not good actresses and implying that acting is a craft that requires dedication and hard work. She went for Madonna, and to quote, she said, "Do I think she's a great performer? Yes. Do I think she's a great actress? No." She then went on to make even bigger mistakes by saying negative comments about other actresses, including Cameron Diaz, where she says, "A lucky model who's been given a lot of opportunities I just wish she would have done more with. She's beautiful and has a great presence though." And then went in on Gwyneth Paltrow saying, Tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work. Yes, she said all of that about Gwyneth Paltrow, like who would go on a few months later to win an Oscar. Her comments about Madonna, however, sparked a feud between the two, with Madonna later responding that Lopez couldn't sing. The interview was widely reported and created a media frenzy, damaging JLo's reputation and relationships within the industry. Lopez did apologize for her statements and said they were taken out of context and misquoted, but the damage was done, and it even made Lopez consider quitting the industry altogether. I just think it's funny that JLo had so many opinions on who is or isn't a great actress, as if she is a great actress herself. None of her critiques aged well, and most can be said about her today if we're being honest. The thing is too is that some of what she said had some truth, but the problem is whose mouth it came out of. She does not have a leg to stand on, and although I'm a fan of JLo's rom-coms, I still don't think she then nor now is in any position to throw shade when it comes to acting. Starting off with increased time apart as Justin's career continues to flourish, and despite the current lawsuit he's involved in with not only Blake Lively but also the New York Times, it seems as though he may be spending a lot more time away from home, which of course could potentially put a huge strain on their relationship. Before I get into more red flags, let me give you a brief timeline of their relationship. Justin has always said he knew instantly that Emily was the one. In an October 2017 interview, he said, "One of the things I learned from my mom was trusting my intuition, something I wish more men would tap into. I had made the same mistake so many times searching for something in a package that I thought I would want. When I met Emily, it was unlike all my other experiences. She had like a depth and a grace and this quiet strength that I think I always dreamed of, and I just knew." After several years of dating, Justin proposed to Emily in April 2013 at the Blue Jam Cafe, which is the same restaurant where they actually had their very first date. The special moment, which subsequently went viral on YouTube, featured an epic 27-minute video of proposal ideas. The pair wed 3 months later. Now, Justin and Emily went on to welcome daughter Maya and son Maxwell in 2015 and 2017 respectively. Now, in a resurfaced interview from 2 years ago, the It Ends With Us director, who is currently actually being sued by co-star Blake Lively, spoke about the early days of his relationship with Emily, explaining that his instant obsession with the Swedish-born actress nearly destroyed their relationship. According to Baldoni, Emily refers to this time in their relationship as Baldoni's puppy dog phase. He would follow her around at parties, not interested in speaking with anybody else, and while the director thought he was abandoning the rules of masculinity for an earnest approach, he soon realized he was actually suffocating Emily. He said she had never met a guy that was this open and vulnerable, and she had no clue what to do with me. I was suffocating her with my passion and my intensity and my love. It pushed her away, and then I didn't know what to do. After some self-reflection, the Jane the Virgin actor admitted that his intentions were not pure and he was acting extremely codependently. He said in admittance, "I was needing her versus wanting her," and she was picking up on that energy. Now, was all of this like a red flag? If it wasn't then, well, this might have been a surefire flag when he gave his vows at their wedding. He began his speech by saying, "I'm sorry for all my faults, my shortcomings, for my insecurities and my ego, and for everything that I've ever done or said that's hurt you, and everything I've ever brought to this relationship that hasn't been pure. But with that apology also comes a promise." He also added, "Emily, for the rest of my life, I will cherish you, I will appreciate you, I will listen to you, I will laugh with you, I will take care of you, I will honor you, and I will respect you." This begs the question though, what faults is he referring to? Also, is his ego that big that he really needed to apologize for it in his wedding vows? So many questions, and in the wake of, his legal battles that he's facing, some answers would maybe give some clarity to the allegations that's made against him currently. Now, forget the vows for a moment, because this proposal video would have been a big enough red flag for me. People on the internet have now unearthed Justin's 27-minute proposal video to his wife, Emily Baldoni, from 2012. Yes, you heard that right, 27 minutes. This thing has lip syncing, flash mobs, fake crime dramas, and enough self-indulgence to make you question if it's even about Emily at all. Social media detectives wasted no time connecting the dots, wondering if the video was a red flag for, all of the allegations that are being made against him now. And honestly, I don't blame them. Let's go over Justin Baldoni's proposal video, shall we? So if you don't feel like watching the half-hour long video, I honestly don't blame you. I'll save you the watch. Picture this though. You're meeting your boyfriend for dinner at the spot where you first had your first date. Sounds cute, right? But like, instead of a sweet low-key proposal, he hits you with a feature-length film about himself. The video starts with him pretending to be running late and quickly spirals into a very chaotic montage of like boy band lip syncs, fake radio shows, and a mall flash mob set to Bruno Mars' song Marry You. There's also like a fake crime drama where Justin dramatically runs around with a briefcase, and because he's a man of theatrics, the whole thing ends with him visiting Emily's late father's grave to ask for his permission for her hand in marriage. Because, what's a proposal without some emotional whiplash, right? Am I right? Now fast forward to 2024, and Justin's self-centered energy in that proposal video is aging like milk because social media is calling it the ultimate red flag, and they are absolutely eating him up. Twitter users, or X, they're also pointing out how the proposal's over-the-top nature feels less like love and more like Justin like auditioning for an Oscar. People are kind of like connecting the dots and using the video as evidence of someone who's narcissistic and could do some of the things that Justin's being accused of doing. Not to ruin the ending or anything, but yeah, of course she said yes, and the two married a few months later in July of 2013. This past summer, Justin's proposal video was reshared on TikTok, with many branding it as the best proposal that they'd ever seen at the time. But now many are looking at the video in a completely different light. Someone on X wrote, "Just saw Justin Baldoni's proposal video and oh man," along with a meme of someone like waving a big red flag. Another person commented saying, "Feeling vindicated because I have always thought Justin Baldoni was sketchy ever since he released that 1 hour long dance mob cringe fest proposal video on YouTube in 2013. Someone else admitted, "I said this when it came out and was told I hate love for thinking it was an unhinged display of narcissism." So whether you're Team Blake or just here to pile on the hate, one thing's clear: Justin might need to take a seat, preferably somewhere very far away from a camera. Now, there's a past infidelity incident that doesn't get talked about, and probably because he knows how it would look to not only the public, but to his wife as well. In an interview, Justin revealed that he had been unfaithful in a past relationship before marrying Emily. And while he has spoken out about learning from his mistakes, the history could definitely raise concerns. Baldoni opened up about feeling conflicted after a toxic relationship he had in college. He said he met a very beautiful young woman at an Abercrombie & Fitch store while attending Long Beach State and fell right into this relationship because he was trying to like fill a hole and a void where he just didn't feel like he was enough. He went on to say, "It was a very bad relationship and I kind of like contorted myself and my personality to be what she wanted. I had strong values and opinions and beliefs going in, and those were very easily manipulated and reshaped to the point where a few months in, I completely lost any sense of self that I had left, and it got very emotionally toxic." Baldoni said after that, he experienced that trauma in that relationship. He then wrestled with that trauma for the rest of his life because in his head, a man can't experience trauma at the hands of a woman. He went on to say, "It's also the way that society has kind of made me feel that, it's only the other way around, when in reality, it can happen." Baldoni said acknowledging that a woman could take advantage of him became too much to hold for many, many years, and he finished by saying that relationship ended with cheating and infidelity. "It was a terrible, terrible relationship. I left college, I moved to LA, and it was actually thanks to that relationship ending that I ended up becoming an actor." Now, this was quite an interesting conversation considering the theme of his very recent movie It Ends With Us. It does make you wonder and question the legitimacy. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I also obviously can't say it did with 100% certainty. And it's a lot to think about, right? I mean, regardless, I want to leave you with some food for thought here, because although there hasn't been a lot of red flags or warning signs to come out in regards to his marriage with Emily, I want to leave you with some insight and what to keep your eyes open for, because these potential red flags could be a big cause for concern. Now, if Justin and Emily have changes in their communication, such as becoming more argumentative or distant, it could be a sign of underlying issues. Now, if the couple stops attending events or posting photos together on social media, that might indicate a growing distance between them. If more rumors or allegations of infidelity were to surface, it could put significant pressure on their relationship. And if Emily were to suddenly reduce her social media presence or stop sharing updates about their life together, it could raise questions about the state of their relationship. So it is important to note that these potential signs don't necessarily mean the couple would be headed for a separation, but it definitely would send alarm bells ringing.